Hello, everyone. It is Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and we have some nightly newsy news for you. Boy, do we. First up is Florida Man. And good evening, Christine and Kim and Peace Peony. Thank you for joining me this evening. It has been a long day, but a good day. And I hope everyone has had a good day today. And I remembered it wasn't Friday. So always a good day when you remember what day it is. It is Thursday, November the 2nd, and our first story today, of course, involves Florida Man. I do need to work on my graphic for what in the Florida is going on here, or something to that effect. Well, that's always good, Wim. I am glad you are alive, and so is everyone else, I am sure. So I'm glad you made it here and just made it in general. That's always good, you know? Some days it's just, hey, we made it, we survived, you know, we're near the end of the day. Good evening, AC's Wildflower. I look, I get it, it's if you're packing, I totally get it. Packing is the stinkiest thing that you have to do, but it usually means you're going on a trip, so that's a good thing. Unless you're moving, then that's the kind of packing that's not always fun, but you're moving to a better place, hopefully, if that's the type of packing you're doing. So hopefully there's a positive spin either way. But our first story, a Florida babysitter who attempted to circumcise, and yes, I read that right, circumcise a 2-year-old boy is charged with child abuse. I didn't think I'd have to break out the whiteboard of truth so early. Oh, well, that's good. A short trip to Tennessee for a kids' sporting thing. So that'll be fun. You'll go to Tennessee and hopefully you'll get a little break to do some sightseeing. I know that kids' sports trips are generally not ones where you get a whole lot of breaks to do fun stuff, but maybe you guys will get a little bit of breaks between tourneys or what have you for sports balls stuff. Look, Man, I only have one really sporty kid, and she hasn't gone to any tournaments, so I don't know, but I didn't think I'd have to break out the whiteboard of truth yet, but apparently we have to have a whiteboard of truth moment, and I don't know where Fry went. Oh, he's sleeping out of frame because he's mad at me that I won't let him go bother the cat. But we need the whiteboard of truth already because Florida Man, what in the world? But let's explain or read a few things here. All right. If you are a babysitter, here's you. You are a babysitter. This is a baby. Now, this is not your child. Not your child. That means you do not cut. Don't know why I should have to say this, but apparently it's Florida, so we do not cut anything. No, not your child. This is not your choice. Any dangly bit cosmetic surgery, not your choice, not your child. You had nothing to do with conception. You weren't there. You didn't push this giant-headed child out of your hoo-ha. Then no cutting of the dangly bits. I didn't think we have to get the whiteboard of truth to figure this out, but apparently Florida Man. All right. What in the actual Schnell? Let's get back to the story because I'm sure it's Florida Man. Let's be honest. Gonna take Fry out of here for a while. Hello, Irish and Snivels. I hope you guys both had a good day. Let's continue with this. A Florida man who police said apparently tried to circumcise a toddler. Are you oh gosh, a moil? I believe. Look, I don't know. The Jewish rabbi who circumcised children, I don't know what their real name is, but yes, a bris. Uh, are what in the actual Schnell is wrong with you, sir? Straight to Snake Island. Just straight to Snake Island. Thank you so much, Iris. I was so nervous. So I'm glad that I think I did okay, but there there are some things that I learned, so I will work on those, and then I had a lot of fun, so that was great, and thank you for the encouragement. But what is wrong with this man? I didn't think I'd have to break out the whiteboard of truth, but what in the Schnell? Timotheos, okay, we need to talk. Look, Timotheos Powell, 29, was arrested Monday on first-degree aggravated child abuse charge and connected to the October 21st incident involving a 2-year-old boy, the Holy Hill Police Department reported. I do try. Famous for calling court TV "twat waffles." Everyone has a has a claim to fame. Um, you know what? Actually, don't let him go to Snake Island. Just give him into custody of the child's parents. I think we will go ahead and take care. This is why I won't be a judge. Thank you so much, Kim. Um, the city where the reported crime took place was Volusia County, about 3 miles north of Daytona Beach. According to the police, detectives heard about the child's injuries October 21st when the State Department of Children and Families investigator asked for assistance with the case. The News Journal, a part of USA Today Network, reported. The babysitter is jailed on a $100,000 bond. No, that's a bajillion and $12. A hundred and zillion dollars. Thank you so much, Snivels, and hi, Ghostery. Online records show Powell remained jailed Thursday on a $100,000 bond. Public records show his last known address is in Ruthers Glen, Virginia, an unincorporated community in Caroline County, about 30 miles north of Richmond, the state capitals. Much too clean and precise to be accidental. Why is this child? Okay, A, sir, why? B, sir, Snake Island and or parent custody where they get to do what have you. Look, we need some old-fashioned, allegedly death wish kinda justice. We need some Charles Bronson Webley kinda justice here. In my humble opinion, allegedly. This is why I'm not a justice of the peace, because I would have no peace. According to Powell's arrest report, a DCFS investigator was notified by staff at a local hospital that the boy had been brought in for treatment for a cut to his bits on October 20 or 17th. The injury caused bleeding, officials said. Powell, who was caring for the child while the child's mother was at work, was seen on surveillance video changing the child's diaper, investigators said. He initially told the police that he found a piece of glass in the diaper and believed it cut the child. Sir, look, just like Charlie Adelson, I'm going to need you to come up with a better story, sir. When confronted about the child's injury, Powell said he was frustrated, lost his temper, and pulled down on the child with force, hurting him. All right, sir. Never mind. I changed my mind. I have revised your punishment. You are turned into a eunuch. Eunuchification. I've made up a word. Eunuchification for you. That is your and no lidocaine. Eunuchification, no lidocaine. Allegedly, if I were a judge and I had powers, that's what I would do. But again, this is why I'm not a judge, you know. But a DCF nurse and doctor said the cuts were much too clean and precise to be accidental. Quote, the nurse did note that the injury had to have been inflicted by someone as if they tried to circumcise, police wrote in the arrest report. A doctor also agreed that the wound was too precise for a skin tear and was done with intent. Velusta or Volusia County Circuit Court records obtained by USA Today showed Powell is represented by a public defender's office and has not yet entered a plea in the case. His attorney could not be reached for any comment. Look, sir, you should pray to tiny baby Jesus, who is probably the only one that still likes you, that you are in the arms of a justice system that presumes you innocent. Because if Judge Moe in the deep end were in charge of your punishment, again, unification, all right? And not unification, but unification with no lidocaine. Thank you so much, Bad Weather Biker. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you. I was very, very nervous, and thank you guys for all being so supportive, and it really was so much fun. I would never have a dreamed of ever doing this before, so this has been such fun to do this. Thanks, Peace Peony, for becoming a member. All right, so in other news that is, well, a little more political, a little bit more weird. The FBI raided the home of Adams' fundraiser who made $150,000 from campaign when agents knew the mayor was out of New York City, sources said. Well, isn't that special? Hmm. Did she make 150K from the campaign or like, look, as I often say, I have a for-profit charity. It's called Mo's House. If you would like to donate to just make my house cool, that's fine. It's a joke. I don't think you're allowed to do that in politics, but I think people just kind of know at this point politics is all a scam. But I mean, okay. Home of top political fundraiser for New York City Mayor Eric Adams was raided by the feds Thursday morning just as his owner bailed on slate of White House immigration meetings to return to the Big Apple almost as soon as he landed in D.C., the Post confirmed. Federal agents busted into the Brooklyn home of Brianna Suggs, a close consultant whose firm has earned more than $150,000 from the mayor's campaign since 2021. Her company, Suggs Solutions LLC, is registered to a family owned brownstone at, I'm not going to dox her address. That's silly. Besides, I don't know how YouTube stands on that thing. And honestly, I don't want people sending weirdo stuff. People are weird on the internet. I don't want to send any weirdness to her regardless. Authorities purposely conducted the raid while Adams was absent, law enforcement officials told the Post. Quote, I heard screaming maybe 2 or 3 hours ago, one of the neighbors told the Post. I heard helicopters also. The house is boarded up. Another witness told the Post he saw cars on the block with civilian license plates, which nonetheless carried FBI agents who were going in and out of the house. I saw some of them carrying cardboard boxes, which they loaded into the van. Okay, on a side note, I really like her sweater, which is, I know ADHD squirrel. I need to make a graphic that just says squirrel, but I really like her sweater. It's a beautiful color on her, and I love this little detail. But again, squirrel. Uh, Devon Stillwell, a 22-year-old who was hanging out on the block with some film students from NYU, told the Post on Thursday afternoon. I know, it is super cute. I can't tell if it's a dress or just a sweater, but it looks really pretty on her. I know. And welcome Gemini the Witch. I think I said that right, but if I didn't, I am very sorry. Quote, it's obvious something big was going on, and now I hear the house belongs to someone connected with the mayor. Does any of that surprise you? Okay, so it says the FBI uses cars that are registered under fake rental agencies. Goodness, that doesn't surprise me either. Don't make me go full Dale Gribble tonight, Wim. I don't I don't have my foil hat ready. City records so City records show Scruggs is on a monthly retainer for his owner's political work and has also received more than 16,500 in personal payments from Adams' accounts according to the campaign finance filings. Suggs did not pick up the phone when the Post called and has not returned phone calls. It's not clear Thursday who her attorney was. It's also not clear whether Adams canned his much sought after meeting with senior White House officials because of the raid. Parties were supposed to discuss the burgeoning migrant crisis that swamped the Big Apple. So it's really interesting that, as soon as Mayor Adams, who has been just screaming that he needs federal help, and he finally gets, the big wigs in DC to give him the time of day, he finds out about this raid and he hauls behind home. Now, as I said, I am a Lewis Blackian person when it comes to politics. Republicans suck, Democrats blow, libertarians just want everyone to be, well, libertarians are just confused sometimes, or we're so independent sometimes we just like we can't make up our minds for anything. I don't know. I'm politically homeless at this point, and I believe everyone has look, politics and opinions, everyone has them, and everyone's free to have their own opinions. So, it is what it is. Uh, yeah. So, it does seem odd that he finally got this meeting and then he rushed back home, so it seems like there's a bigger story afoot, but I am always of the opinion as our, spiritual leader, Dale Gribble, may he rest in peace, uh, that the government is out to get us. But, a City Hall spokesperson referred inquiries to Adams' 2021 campaign council, Vito Pita. Quote, Mayor Adams has not been contacted as part of this inquiry. Just be careful about that oral throat cancer. But chink. Hey, PETA told the Post, he has always held his campaign to the highest standards. The campaign will, of course, comply with any inquiries as appropriate. Sources say Suggs has a close relationship to Chaplain Ingrid Lewis Martin, who served as Adams' chief advisor since January 2022. The raid could significantly wound the mayor in the city's cutthroat political arena, consultant Hank Scheinkoff told the Post. This is someone who is close to him, who he trusts, Scheinkoff said. There is no one more important in a campaign than the person who raises money. His canceling a meeting with the White House is very significant. His political enemies are going to jump on this, he continued. You can't focus on the migrant crisis when your attention is being diverted into investigations. Indeed, political opponents are already piling on the mayor, including Curtis Silwa, whom Adams defeated in the city's 2021 mayoral election. Quote, I have been saying forever that Eric Adams always wanted to be wined, dined, and pocket lined. Well, I'm glad he used pocket lined because there's another ending to that line that isn't YouTube appropriate. And thank you, Curious, for becoming a new subscriber. Yeah, because that one, I know another ending to those two ones. Silwell said in a statement. At the start, Adams thought he would be on his way to the White House, he continued. Now it looks like he'll be on his way to the big house with change and shackles because of political corruption. Oh, come on. As of Thursday afternoon, it was still unclear how much the raid had to do with Adams or Suggs' work on his campaign. Christopher Kelly Burwell, a longtime resident of the block, was hanging around charging $50 per reporter for his video of the feds carrying boxes out of the apartment. That is what we call capitalism, you people. I love it. Oh, I'm sorry, curios. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Um, I tend to not pronounce things well at all. So thank you. I will remember though. Let me write that down because I have to there's another person that I had to write down phonetically. Ah, my lovely children haven't stolen one pen. Okay, I've written it down on my handy dandy notepad. I do like that he was charging reporters 50 bucks. You know what? You go, entrepreneur. The 54-year-old Brooklynite said he watched the FBI comb through the house for about an hour and a half with agents removing boxes as they went. I came outside and Merry Christmas. Oh, snap. What's going on? Burwell told the Post. I saw the FBI and it was scary, really scary. He continued, they had jackets with the letters FBI, some men in suits too. I was very shocked. It's a quiet block. I wasn't expecting that this morning. Burwell said he's known the family for a long time, including Suggs' father, William Billy Suggs, who was a member of Adams' transition committee. He said they were good neighbors and good people. Quote, I don't know what's going on, but the young lady, her grandmother, and her father, and her siblings, they're very good people, and whatever she's caught up in, I don't think it's for her, Burwell said. It really is. You know, if it weren't so crowded and so peoply, I'd love to live in New York. That's like saying, if it just were quiet and in the middle of the country, I'd love to live in New York. Uh, same. In kind of sad and scary news, I hope that they can help these people. Kentucky governor declares state of emergency after workers trapped and one killed in a coal plant. So, Governor Andy Bashir declared a state of emergency Wednesday in Martin County after two workers became trapped in a coal plant when it collapsed in the middle of the night, killing one of them. Kentucky Emergency Management said in a press release that the 11-story coal sorting structure in Martin County collapsed at about 6:30 p.m., leaving two workers trapped under multiple floors of concrete and steel. Bashir confirmed Wednesday morning that one of the workers trapped in the building collapse passed away, but he didn't identify the individual. Before he confirmed the death of at least one of the workers, the governor announced a state of emergency in the county to expedite state resources. Quote, I have signed an executive order declaring a state of emergency in Martin County following the collapse of a coal preparation plant. Two workers are trapped inside, and a number of teams are working to rescue these individuals. The order mobilizes state resources to help, he said in a statement. I'm really glad that he signed this state, of emergency so they can get as many resources there. I mean, regardless of political affiliation, I think anytime, there's an emergency, if we can all just work together and help these people out, and hopefully these, resources that he's sending also includes mental health and grief people for the, family that has lost a loved one because, it's sudden, it's tragic, and it's gonna be just it's gonna be life-changing, it's gonna be awful, and they're just gonna be going through hell, so I hope that that's included in some of the resources that he's sending. Kentucky, keep praying, but the scene is bad and we should be prepared for tough news out of Martin County, he said before announcing the fatality. Martin County Sheriff John Kirk said the coal preparation plant had been, quote, out of commission for years. Local station WSAZ reported. He said that the two workers were at the bottom floor when it collapsed. He also reportedly warned the rescue mission could take days. Quote, you feel kind of helpless that you can't do more, that you can't for it faster, but this is not a fast process. It's a very slow process in order to try to keep everyone safe. This is a uh, mission, he said. So it it is hard because you wanna go in there really quickly, but it's like that pile of Jenga, and if you just take it out, you know, too fast, then, the whole thing collapses. I remember it's not, the same thing, but I remember the Oklahoma bombing and, how when I was a kid, I thought, "Well, gosh, why don't they just, take excavators and I asked my mom why they didn't just take excavators and dig the people out, and she had to explain to me that they had to be so careful, to take everything out because it was like a pile of, dominoes and things weren't stacked evenly and you had to be so careful because it didn't make sense to me as a kid why you couldn't just use, big giant machines and get them out. Yeah, there are some tough, good, strong, hardworking guys that work in and women that work in that industry. Yeah, and rest in peace and prayers for the family that has lost a loved one. Oh, that would be just terrible. And it's that would just oh, and you'd be so torn because you can't you can't put the safety of others at risk, and you know that logically as I'm sure the families knew that logically in their head, but in your heart, you want your family member back to have that, you know, to give them that proper burial and have that memorial for them. I just couldn't imagine the hell of that. Oh, that would just be awful. Yeah, I would. It would ugh. In weirder news, well, Jose Baez has a job again. The woman accused of murdering Microsoft ex husband hires Casey Anthony's lawyer. Dear God, the book we're going to get out of this one. The woman charged with orchestrating the murder of her estranged Microsoft executive husband has hired Casey Anthony's ex attorney, according to court papers. Shanna Gardner, 36, who hails from a wealthy Utah family, tapped Miami based lawyer Jose Baez to defend her against charges that she plotted the cold blooded killing of Jared Bridgigan, the father of her two children. Baez vaulted to fame after securing a shocking not guilty verdict for Anthony, who went to trial for the killing of her 2-year-old daughter Kaylee more than a decade ago. He represented late England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez in 2017, drawing an acquittal on double murder charges in that case. Baez also counts disgraced former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein as a prior client. Did he sleep with those 2 also? Well, 3. Gardner, who was recently extradited back to Florida from Washington State, is facing first-degree murder charges and the possible death penalty. Dear Lord, the book we're gonna get out of this one. Can you imagine the Lifetime movie? Baez entered a not guilty plea for his new client and requested an appearance waiver for a scheduled Friday processing in Jacksonville, court papers show. Brigham had just dropped off the twins he had with Gardner at the home she shared with new husband Mario Fernandez when he encountered a tire placed in the middle of the road. With his 2-year-old daughter Blexley in the back seat, Brigham was shot dead after he exited the vehicle to clear a path. Several bullets nearly struck the traumatized tot who remained in the car near her doting dad's lifeless body. Okay, whoever did this, you are a dill hole of the highest magnitude. You do not in front of a child and you almost hit a child, you suck all the donkey balls. Really, you do. Now we assume she's innocent until proven guilty, but you suck. Suspicions immediately swirled around Gardner, who was locked in a custody dispute with Britigan at the time, despite their 2015 divorce. Those speculations spiraled after a tattoo parlor owner came forward and said Gardner once asked him if he knew anyone who could make her spouse disappear. Gardner later said she made the comment in jest. Do you know Charlie Adelson? Where was Maria Sanchez and Letitia Stelk during this time? I'm just saying it could have been. Yes, stop marrying women with Manson lamps. If she looks cray-cray, she's a rental. She's not the Marion type, okay? I'm just throwing it out there. She's a rental. I mean, I hate to break the sisterhood and all, but she's a rental. I know. You're fine. I've got 4 more stories and then we're done. Uh, Gardner said she later made the comment in jest, "Okay, Charlie Adelson," staunchly denying any involvement in the crime before leaving Florida and moving to a $1 million home her parents bought her in West Richland, Washington. But the walls began to close in on Gardner with the arrest of the admitted trigger man, Henry Tenon, a former tenant in a ramshackle Jacksonville property owned by her new husband. Investigations revealed that Fernandez allegedly paid Tenon to murder Bridgigan, and he agreed to cooperate with authorities. Fernandez was the next suspect to be placed in handcuffed and was charged with first-degree murder in March for his role in the crime. Again, sir, do not marry cray cray. They will end you. Look, if you marry cray cray, it will end 2 ways. Okay? It will end in, if you marry someone with Kubrick eyes, you will yes, I love you very much. Go get a toy. Where's your come on. Go get your toy. Where's your toy? Here's your all right. Go get it. Oh, I love you too. Come on. You're not even a lap puppy. Come on, you know you aren't. I love you too. Uh, let's see here. He was charged with first-degree murder in March for his role in the crime. Gardner was the last to face arrest and was apprehended in her home in Washington in August and escorted to a police car as the kids she shared with Gardner or with Britigan watched. Yes, you're not a lap puppy. Oh, yes. Okay. Go get your toy. Unless you want a treat, go get your toy. Go get your toy. Where's your treat? Oh, you want a treat? I need to get something done. I know. You're ding dong. There you go. I know. I know. See, the sad thing is now these children have lost not only a good dad, but a crazy mom. So in trying to remove their dad, who was just trying to be a good dad, yeah, yeah, he was supposed to be a Pomsky. But he was part of a surrender litter, so they weren't quite sure what he was. And, you know, he's just a Frybert. Her parents, Shelley and Sterling Gardner, are prominent members of the Mormon community in Utah and founded the lucrative Stampin' Up! Paper company. Fryberto, there is nothing up there that you want. They have backed their daughters since Britigan's death, taking her, Fernandez, and the twins on a Florida vacation just weeks after the stunning homicide. Okay, Donna Adelson and crew, what the heck is wrong? You guys, come on now. The victim's widow, Kristen Britigan, has maintained that Gardner's isolated her husband's children from their half siblings and paternal relatives. Baez did not immediately return a request for comment on his new case. I I think he's got more German Shepherd in him than anything else. I am hoping after, next week, um, when they do the, trial spinal stimulator and we see how that works with my pain, that, we'll see. Yeah, we're not sure. He was supposed to be a Pomsky, but he's just kind of a Mutsky. Um, I'm hoping that after next week, if we see how the spinal stimulator works for my pain, we will definitely be taking him to puppy classes because he kinda knows sit, but that's about all, and only when he wants to or he's going to get a treat, which isn't convenient when I'm trying to teach him things, and we need to work a little bit on walking because he needs to stay off of my away from my left side. So, just a little bit of obedience training would be good. A man famous for acting in a show where he totaled a car in real life, but I don't believe it was his fault. I don't read these articles before I read them with you, so let's see if it was his fault, Dad. Screw you, Dad. No, I love Ferris Bueller. And this Alan Ruck was my character. Uh, I'm giving it a try, and if it doesn't work, then I'm looking at, switching doctors. This doctor and I aren't clicking the best, but I'm this far into this particular process, and since it's only, a trial, I've had mixed reviews on it from other people. I figure I'll give it the week and we'll see how it goes. I've heard good things and I've heard horror stories, so I'm trying to go into it with realistic, expectations, but it's a thing. But yes, Alan Ruck was my spirit animal as a nevish, anxious, anxiety-ridden, teen in Ferris Bueller. Los Angeles Succession and Ferris Bueller's Day Off actor Alan Ruck was involved in a four-vehicle crash in Hollywood that resulted in a pickup truck slamming into a pizzeria. Two law enforcement officers said Wednesday the crash occurred around 9 p.m. Tuesday near the intersection of La Brea Avenue and Hollywood Boulevard. Ambulances were required for two people, but were not who are not publicly identified, a 40-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man. Los Angeles police are investigating. A representative for Ruck, 67. Wow, he actually looks really good for 67. I know. We're almost done, sir. We're almost done. You've got like 10 more minutes. We can just wait for 10 more minutes. I know. No more biting. No, sir. Los Angeles news reports that security camera video showed a pickup truck rear end a car at a stoplight, then strike a BMW SUV before it ended up partially inside Raffaello's Pizzeria. Good Lord. That's not good. No, you don't bite. We are not biting. You have, look at her. You have your toys. If you would like to bite, you may have your toys. Okay, let's see here. The Los Angeles Fire Department reported that a 32-year-old man was taken to the hospital and that the severity of his injuries were unclear. Authorities did not specify whether the man was walking in or one of the vehicles involved in the crash, according to the NBC Los Angeles. Ruck is more recently known for playing Connor Roy in the hit HBO series Succession, but he's perhaps best known for playing Ferris Bueller's best friend Cameron Fry in the 1986 John Hughes classic Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah, that it almost is. Serbert. No. Well, what did you what did yes, I see you. Uh, and then in odd news, you thought your kids you know, I'm going to have to show this to my kids when they say, um, no, actually, Fry is named after Fry from Futurama. Um, I was going to name him Lur after Lur, the ruler of Omicron Persei 8, but he is kind of a crybaby. He is not a brave guy. He's more of a, not brave guy, so he became Fry. He was not a Lur, and I didn't wanna have to explain to people who Lur was and that it's spelled Lrrr. Um, I figured not everyone would understand who Lur was. Alright, I'm getting your rope and you can play with it while I sit here. Come on. You know it. You thought your commute was bad. Kids have to walk on a rope over alligator-infested river to go to school. So if your kids ever say, "This is on the post, weird but true." So if your kids complain about going to school or, they have it so rough, you can, in fact, show them that, these children Yes, you're right, Lurbert doesn't sound as good. Fry was meant to be. Uh, this one way of This is one way of roping kids into going to school. Going to school may feel treacherous enough for students as it is, but for 70 student or pupils from Villa Lidi, the near coastal city of Santa Maria, Colombia, risk their lives daily to get to the classroom. To get to school, the children must cross a makeshift bridge across alligator infested, yes, I see you, uh, Giara River. This bridge, you know, I don't need to learn math that much. I'm just saying. I'd be like, "Ma, I know how to count now. I know how to count." That'll be a hard no for me, Ma. Uh, is made from a pipe that supplies water to the whole town as well as rope. The previous bridge was built by our own efforts, but it started to deteriorate in January this year, Mom, Diorisa Fadul told local media. Get your rope, you ding dong, you put it in your bucket. It was a wooden bridge we made ourselves, and it collapsed completely on July 1st, she lamented. She said parents have begged the town council to build a safer bridge, but they ignored us. Well, that's when you vote them out allegedly in Minecraft, you, there's more of you than the town council. That's when you all show up and maybe remind them of that. Remember at the end of A Bug's Life when they suddenly realize that there's more ants than there are grasshoppers? I mean, but maybe with, like, pitchforks, okay? Just throwing it out there. Or, flip-flops and um Yes. Another disclaimer, do not I do not recommend scaring political figures, but reminding them that they serve the people and they are not lords of the people, that they are there to serve the people. There's always a good reminder of that. Right now, the children run the risk of being swept away by the river because they don't have a decent bridge to cross, she explained. Everyone has to use the bridge if they want to leave the neighborhood. It puts the people at risk. If there isn't a bridge, we have to use the pipe that supplies us with drinking water. Children, elderly people, pregnant women, everyone. Eduardo Fadil, who helped build the first bridge that collapsed, knocked on the mayor's door many times to demand a new bridge. We have also informed the Risk Management Office of Santa Maria, and they promised us a bridge but won't deliver it. Serbert, no, it's no. Where I this is the last story, sir. Stop. All right, I'm gonna let you out, you ding dong. I have to finish this. I will be right back. You're a ding dong. Out. You can go play with the boys. Go. Yes, they're supposed to be the people. This is a monarchy. My kids, they're like, this is a monarchy. My kids will be the next ruler of America. But yeah, so sorry. So our cats sit right next or right behind the door. I closed the door to my room where my office is, and the cats will sit right behind the door and taunt Fry since he's not supposed to bark. Yeah. Well, and he knows he's not supposed to bark, so he whines, and Thor, my big white cat who thinks he's the boss of everyone in the house, uh, will sit right there and try to taunt him into barking, and he knows he's not supposed to. We've kind of broken him of barking at the cats. So Thor is right there to stir the pot all the time, every time. I know. It's just ridiculous. Fadul said when the water levels are lower, people can use another resident's raft to cross the infested waters. But when the river is high, he cannot risk his life or those of the children, so it's time to cross via the pipe. Authorities have not told the residents when they plan to build this new bridge. Kind of like all of the quick transit monorails. Yeah. In Louisiana, at the water park Blue Bayou, you had to cross a rope on a floating gators. N n uh, well, as a cat, he is in fact just we are simply living in his home as his, people servants. This town is right by Rodillero, one of the most popular beach towns in Colombia. Oh, okay. I was like, well, they're very good trained. Look, I'm actually naturally blonde under here, it is what it is. And then actually, this isn't the final story. I have a point with this story, and I'm going to need the whiteboard of truth because we need the whiteboard of truth with this one because I have a point and I've been making this point since I first heard Roxanne from the police. Allow me. In our last story, apparently, this NBA player met a woman who was in adult entertainment, married her or wifed her or dated her, and then is shocked when she goes back to adult entertainment when they fall on hard times. Now, we go to the police song Roxanne. Now, this is Roxanne, hair, doo 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 doo, boobs, because she's, doing what she does. And she's got her little red light on. Doo doo doo. It's all on. Now, the premise of this song is that he knew she was doing this when he met her. Now, how the hell are you gonna be mad? What's she gonna do? Go to Walmart? Unless you are going to pay Roxanne the equivalent money that she is making doing red light stuff, you better not tell her to turn off the red light, and you better not shame her for what she has done been doing when you met her. Again, you meet her doing the smexiness stuff. I mean, if she is pole dancing, if you will, when you meet her, I don't know how you're shocked when she goes back to pole dancing. with all the making it well, I'm gonna make it hail because I always thought it would be a funny idea, but, I mean, it would be mean. It would not be nice funny, it would be mean. But, again, she done you done met her as a lady of the evening. It's not like you met her at church, dude, okay? Imma need you to chill the hell out. It's not like you don't take, lady of the night and make her Sunday school material overnight. It's just it ain't happen himself. Alright. That's all for the whiteboard of truth. I just thought Roxanne always confuses me. I'm like, "You met her at the red light district, which means you were a John. I am confused about this whole damn story. You want her to turn it off, you are a John. You better make up for all of the Johning that she is not doing now." But let's go back to the story because I probably have an odd take on this story. Quote, "My man wasn't taking the lead. Joe Smith's wife said he left home since learning she went back to working as an adult video entertainer." Joe Smith's wife is speaking out after the backlash she received from a now viral video when of the two arguing about her having an OnlyFans account. In the viral video, Smith's wife, Keisha Chavez, uh, filmed the former number one NBA draft pick as he found out she hadn't uh, found out she had an OnlyFans account. While Smith was angry that he purportedly found out the account rather than her telling him about it, Chavez, who is a former adult film actress, argued that it was her body and just a way to bring in money. People pick sides between the married couple, some even saying that the whole ordeal might have been a scheme to get her page more subscribers. Smith has not spoken about the video since it went up on social media. Chafez or Chavez, I don't look, I didn't watch TMZ to actually see. I don't wanna be involved in people's marital problems. On the other hand, just did an interview to further explain her side of the story. Okay, Jada Pinkett Smith. Abo and what happened since the video dropped. At the start of the October 30th chat or 31st chat with TMZ Live, she revealed that Smith has left their house. Quote, "He's pretty pissed off with me," she said as she wiped tears from her eyes. "I think he's at his sister's house. He's not talking to me right now." She told interviewers that she had an OnlyFans page for at least a year, the 52-year-old said. "It's on my Instagram, in my LinkedIn, but that's what happens when you don't pay attention to your wife, period." Uh, okay, ma'am, or or maybe you should tell your husband you're showing your hoo-ha on the internets for money. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. If I were going to have an OnlyFans page, I'd probably let Mr. Mo know about it. Or actually, I'd make Mr. Mo have an OnlyFans page. Actually, I told him to do that when he retired. But I also feel like he knew what she was doing beforehand, and a leopard generally doesn't change its spots. I kinda feel like they were bo again, it's all about communication. She should have told him. I don't know why she's feels like she's in the right here because he didn't pay to like, "Oh, my husband wouldn't go onto my LinkedIn account, and I don't have an Instagram. My husband, I don't even know if he watches my channel. I tell him about my channel, but, you know, he kind of just doesn't do YouTubey stuff, so." Quote, "He has a friend, that he's been, quote, entertaining," and she said she decided that, she wants to put a wrench, a bigger wedge in our relationship, she said before revealing that the woman is the one that told Smith about her page. Uh, she said then Then she said it was, quote, "no secret that her husband has financial issues." In 2018, CNBC reported that the estranged couple were living paycheck to paycheck and owed $157,000. Their combined income was reported at $26,000 a year, but lived in a home in Atlanta worth $133,000. Quote, "I've always made a good life for myself," she said. She explained before she met Smith, she was an established singer in Europe, and when she came back stateside, she believed that Smith's persona and who he was and would help her career take off. "You know, not everybody's hustle and drive here is the same, and depression is a serious thing also. I've just been supporting and dealing and going through his trials and tribulations with him," she revealed. Yes, please talk about his depression and all that stuff on TMZ. I'm sure that'll help your relationship. The mother explained that she's always been a businesswoman and that she's doing a lot to maintain the house she and Joe almost got kicked out of and the second home she was trying not to lose. "I just kicked into drive and I did what I had to do. And he won't do it, so I had to. And I'm sorry, you knew I was an adult video star when you met me," she said. "So if my survival, I would do anything for my own survival, then what makes you think I would change now?" Well, okay. After leaving Germany, she said her music career hadn't taken off as she hoped it would in the States. Have you tried doing a remake of 99 Red Balloons? I'm just saying. Dear husband, you married a prostitute and you expected to change her. Oh, I'll have to see. I don't know who these people are. I'll have to see. Oh, for the love of goodness. Uh, let's see. And as she hoped in the States, but she stayed here for him. She then revealed that she had a pet company that went under during the pandemic and a moving company which Joe works for, stating, quote, "He actually works for me. I'm tired of being the one to figure S out," she stressed. "So I figured it out the best way I know and maximize the money that needs to come in because I'm tired of uh expletive living minimal." The adult entertainer began to unleash details about Joe's retirement, which she described as, quote, "forced because he was locked out after the lockout in 2011. He just never got a new job. No one wanted him anymore." She and Joe have been together since 2012, and as much as she loves him, she's not sorry for what she's doing. "I'm just sorry he can't understand that it wasn't a selfish decision." No, it really is. And let me explain-orate it to you. It was selfish because you didn't talk to your husband, and you publicly humiliated him by not talking to him, and then he had to find out that you're plastering your lady bits and, your floppy bits all over the internet. So, it would have been, had you 2 sat down and you said, "Hey, babe, um, you know what I was doing before? Yeah, we're broke-ish. I'm gonna need to go ahead and" look, I'm not sure if I should post that word up here. Okay. We're kind of brokish. I'm going to go ahead and continue to look, it's not the best solution, but we need money. I'm going to flash my lady bits until we get into a better place and maybe you can see if someone wants to hire you as a basketball coach or something. But instead, she went behind his back, didn't tell him, and then she wonders why he feels disrespected and confused, and she's disrespecting him also by emasculating him and saying, "Well, I'm a strong, independent woman, and I bring in the money, and he's, worthless, and I actually, I employ him and all this other stuff, and he can't find a job." Yeah, I can't imagine why your husband's pissed. No clue. It's a mystery. We'll get Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys and Robert Stack from Unsolved Mysteries on this one. I mean, it's like the OnlyFans chicks that are like, "No one wants to date me." Well, ma'am, I'm going to speculate, but again, there are rental girlfriends and there are marriage girlfriends. And maybe if we stop telling girls that, you know, look, I have told my girl stuff this, you know, I've told my girls this. I said, "Look, the world is going to tell you that you can hop from guy to guy to guy, and maybe there are some girls that are out in the ether that can do that, but I have never met a girl in my own personal life, and maybe there's someone's in chats, and more power to you, that have been able to do that without it affecting them emotionally." "Oh, no, everyone's fine. We're just I'm getting more people in, so I think we're just trying to stay on topic, I think-ish. I don't know, it's hard for me to stay with the chat because I'm reading, but that's that's what I tell my girls. So maybe if we stop telling girls that they can be like boys because we're just not made like that, and there's a difference, women attach emotions to certain smexy time activities, we have emotions with it, and that's okay. Then, you know, maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't have a lost generation. And and that's all. I mean, could we just have a happy medium in this country? But no, we have to go cray. So, in conclusion, just for a rewind, Florida man has gone all the crazy. I can't be a judge. The FBI raids Eric Adams' fundraising campaign, and she looks awesome in this color, and she should definitely wear it more often, as a side note, because squirrel. Um, hopefully, they are able to get the coal worker back, well, alive, and recover the body of the other coal worker that was lost. Jose Baez has a job again, so I'm sure there'll be a book or a Lifetime movie coming out soon. Alan Ruck was well, who's most famous for crashing his dad's car in a movie, well, pushing it out of a glass thing, was involved in a wreck. I hope he is okay. A town better get a doggone bridge or I'm gonna be freaking mad here soon. And man married woman who used to be an adult entertainer. She went back to being an adult entertainer, but she was also kind of really disrespectful about the whole doggone thing. So, those are the Newsy News stories for tonight. I hope you guys have had a wonderful day. Yes. Yes, it does. Well, I try to stick to stuff that stays out of like okay, the presidential politics. I try to pick on both sides, do cone of shame of both sides, and, I try to, do a little bit of court stuff, a little bit of Hollywood stuff, a little No, you're fine, Lucid. So and if you guys ever find stories, crazy stories that you want me to cover on Newsy News, I have my email up. And I take emails, I check my emails. I get up about 4:30 and start looking at the news for the morning stuff. So that is always welcome. I love when people find interesting stories because honestly, it's a little hard with everything that's going on now to find newsy news stories that aren't too sad, aren't too terrible. No. Oh, how did he do that? I wonder well, that's good. So, if you have any recommendations, if you find any newsy news stories that are in your local neck of the woods and would like to email me them, my email is, I think, in my about section or in my contact me thing. So that is great. Thank you so much to the mods. Thank you so much for everyone being here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or, well, evening right now and get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow, we should have, I hope, examination, sorry, of Charlie Adelson. Uh, so that will be fun. I know Nicholas is going to start a little bit early tomorrow because he fell asleep. So I will be helping him in second chair as soon as I finish Newsy News at 9 a.m. And then when this trial wraps up, we will be doing another Delphi episode because things have gone all the crazy there. I will be doing a couple videos about Delphi and then probably a member stream very soon or this weekend. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will see you guys bright and early at 9 a.m. Thank you so much for joining me and have a well, I already said have a wonderful evening, so I will just let you go, and I'm gonna make sure Fry isn't eating anything that he's not supposed to because the boys tried to feed him Halloween candy last night. Having wild feral boys is fun. Bye, guys.